Welcome back to your chemistry class, children. Today we are going to discuss about chapter 1, matter in our surroundings. Already we have discussed about matter in our surroundings in our previous class. Today also we are going to continue with the same lesson. That is, in your last class we have discussed about change in states of matter. Do you remember what we have discussed in our previous class? That is change in states of matter. In the change in states of matter, we have discussed about a change in temperature by using change in temperature, that is solid by heating it is converted into liquid. By heating solid converted into liquid. Again liquid on heating it converted to form gas. This gas after cooling it is collected back into liquid. Same like this, after cooling this liquid converted to form solid. Okay. So what happens in this first condition, that is solid to liquid, that is increase in temperature takes place, and when liquid to gas also the increase in temperature takes place. The temperature increases. Automatically whenever we are increasing temperature, the pressure will get decreases. And same way, see here, gas converted to form liquid. In this gas on cooling it converted back into liquid. In this state, this is gas converted to form liquid by decreasing temperature as well as increase in pressure. Same like this, liquid converted to form solid like this, same decreasing temperature and increase in pressure. So that change in states of matter, that is what happens here, change in states of matter. Change in states of matter. This change in states of matter takes place with the help of, that is two conditions. One is by temperature, another one is by pressure. By increasing temperature or decreasing pressure, we can convert one state of matter into another state of matter, as well as by decreasing temperature and by increasing pressure, we can convert again one state of matter into another state of matter. So a matter can change into one form into another form, that is one state into another state of matter with the help of changing temperature as well as changing pressure. Do you know that by increasing pressure, whenever we are applying pressure, when we will apply pressure, that particles will come closer, isn't it? Suppose if we will apply pressure, the particle will come closer. If anything like this sponge, if we will apply pressure, the particles will go closer. Like this, if any substance, gaseous particles converted into liquid particles by applying pressure, in the time that particles will come closer. So due to that reason, that one state is converted into another state by applying pressure or by increasing temperature or decreasing temperature. For example, we can see that solid carbon dioxide, this solid carbon dioxide maintained at high pressure. When we will reduce this pressure into 1 atmospheric pressure, when we will reduce this pressure into 1 atmospheric pressure, this solid carbon dioxide converted to form gaseous form without attaining its liquid form. That's why we are calling the solid carbon dioxide as called dry ice. So, which is called dry ice? Solid carbon dioxide is called dry ice. Why we are calling the solid carbon dioxide is called dry ice? We will maintain the solid carbon dioxide in the form of high pressure. But when we will reduce the pressure to 1 atmospheric pressure, this solid carbon dioxide converted to form a gaseous form without undergoing liquid state. So in this condition, directly this solid carbon dioxide is converted to form gaseous state when reducing pressure. So this solid carbon dioxide is otherwise called dry ice. So this condition, when the change takes place in that is change in state of matter from solid to gas, state is considered as an sublimation process. You have to know about sublimation process. What is meant by sublimation? That is solid directly converted to gas without attaining liquid state. See, solid directly converted to gas without attaining liquid state is called sublimation process. So in your book you have activity for this. That is, if you will take one one burner, and you have to take one china disc. You have to take one china disc. On this china disc, you will take any camphor or ammonium chloride. You can take camphor or ammonium chloride. Ammonium chloride, and you have to close this with the help of funnel. See, like this you have to take on burner you have to take one china disc. What is this? This name of this is, it is china disc. This is china disc. In this china disc, inside you have to take ammonium chloride or camphor. Do you know what is camphor? See, camphor, that is, you know that we will say that is curcurum, sodium. So that camphor mainly we will burn that camphor directly. It will convert it to gaseous state without attaining liquid state. So this is also one of the sublimating substance, and ammonium chloride also one of the sublimating substance, because when we will heat this ammonium chloride directly, it will convert it to form gaseous state without attaining liquid state. So if you will take any one of the substance like ammonium chloride or camphor on the china disc, then we will invert one funnel on it, and we have to close this funnel with the help of one cotton plug. And then in this by heating this ammonium chloride, what happens now? Slowly this ammonium chloride vaporizes. Directly ammonium chloride vaporizes, and like this on this inside the funnel, it will settle some solidified ammonium chloride. See, vapors will come out. On heating this ammonium chloride, vapors comes out. We have closed this funnel with the help of cotton plug, so vapors will not comes out, and vapors will be inside. After cooling, what happens? This gaseous state, that is ammonium chloride vapors, after cooling slowly converted, that is like this, slowly converted into form of solid. So first here, solid ammonium chloride on heating directly converted to form gaseous state without attaining liquid state. After cooling also, that vapors directly converted to form solid without attaining liquid state. So this process is called sublimation process. A change in states of matter from solid to gas without attaining liquid state is called sublimation process. Same as well as and gaseous particle directly converted to form solid without attaining liquid is also called sublimation. So listen carefully. Change in states of matter takes place by increasing temperature and decreasing pressure, as well as decreasing temperature as well as increasing pressure. For example, when we will apply pressure in one place, immediately that particles will get compressed. The particles will get compressed when we will apply pressure, isn't it? In that place, for example, if you will see solid carbon dioxide. This solid carbon dioxide, we will apply high pressure, we will store the solid carbon dioxide, and suppose we will reduce this pressure to 1 atmospheric pressure, this solid carbon dioxide slowly converted to form gaseous state. So that condition is called dry ice, because in that condition it does look like ice. So without attaining liquid state, it is converted to form that gaseous state. So we are calling that condition is called dry ice. Okay, so in the solid carbon dioxide, without attaining liquid state, it is converted to form gaseous state. So this solid carbon dioxide, this form of solid carbon dioxide, we are calling as a dry ice. Okay, so this also one of the sublimating substance. Why we are calling this dry ice, that is solid carbon dioxide, is a sublimating substance means because it undergoes sublimation. What is sublimation? That is the process of conversion of one state of matter into another state of matter takes place here. In this place, solid converted to form gas without attaining liquid. This process is called sublimation. For example, if we will take one burner, on this we will take china dust. In this china dust, you have to take some amount of sublimating substance like ammonium chloride or camphor. If you will heat this substance slowly, whether it is ammonium chloride, what's the formula for ammonium chloride? It is NH4Cl. This is the formula for chemical formula for ammonium chloride, NH4Cl. N caps, H caps, C caps, L small. So NH4Cl is the formula for ammonium chloride. Okay, so if we will heat this substance slowly, that ammonium chloride vaporizes first without attaining liquid state. That solid ammonium chloride vaporizes. Okay, and after cooling, that vapors slowly converted to form that solid form of ammonium chloride. So in this process, what happens means one state of matter converted into another state of matter. That is, in first stage, here solid ammonium chloride vaporizes. That means solid form converted to form gaseous form. That is, solid converted to form gas without attaining liquid state. So this is called sublimation. And in second condition, the vapors again converted to form solid. Vapors again after cooling, it converted to form solid without attaining liquid. So that conversion of gas into solid directly, that process also it is considered as a sublimation. Okay, now we are going to discuss about triangle conversion of states of matter. Listen. What is meant by triangle conversion of states of matter means? Now we are going to convert one state of matter into another state of matter in the form of triangle conversion. That means, listen, if we are taking solid, so how will you convert solid to liquid and liquid to gas and gas to solid? At the same way, how will you convert this liquid to solid and same like this solid to gas and same like this gas to liquid? These process now we are going to discuss. This is called a triangle conversion of states of matter. This is triangle conversion of states of matter. Listen here, in this, how will you convert solid to liquid? See, in our previous class we have discussed about that is solid is converted to form liquid by the process of melting, isn't it? Otherwise it is called fusion. So, by melting or fusion. So, with the help of this process, we can convert on solid substance, that is solid state of matter, into liquid state of matter. Same like this. How will you convert liquid into solid? Do you have any idea how will you convert liquid into solid? This process, a conversion of liquid into solid, this process is called freezing or solidification. freezing or solidification. So how will you convert liquid into gas? So listen, we know that in our previous class we have discussed about that is evaporation, that means vaporization or evaporation, and we have discussed about boiling process also, isn't it? So next, how will you convert gas to liquid? So gas into liquid. That means this process is called liquefaction. What is this process is called? Liquefaction. So gas particle converted into liquid, that process we can say this is liquefaction process. Same like this, how will you convert gas to solid and solid to gas? Just now we have discussed this process is sublimation. What is the name of this process? Sublimation. So listen, what's the name of this process? Sublimation. So this is called, that is a triangle conversion of states of matter. So how will you convert one state of matter into another state of matter? We have started in our previous class also. See, this is solid. So a solid state of matter we need to convert in the form of liquid state of matter, and we need to convert in the form of gaseous state also. See, you know very well, by increasing temperature, a solid can change in the form of liquid. We have discussed one example also for this. When if we will take ice in the form of solid, if we will heat that ice will convert it in the form of water, that is liquid. So this process is called, what is that? Melting or fusion process. So what we have defined as melting, that is melting is nothing. One state of matter solid is converted into liquid. Solid is converted into liquid by heating, and its melting point is called melting process. Okay. So otherwise what is fusion? The conversion of solid into liquid at temperature, that at a particular pressure is called fusion. So during this melting or fusion, by using this melting or fusion, we can convert a solid state of matter into liquid state of matter. Same like this, how will you convert this liquid into gas? So this also you know that again if you will heat that water, that is what we have taken in previous example, that is ice, already it is converted into water. That water again if we are heating, it is converted to form water vapor. So that process is called vaporization, that is evaporation. So during this process we can discuss, already we have discussed about boiling also. What is boiling? That is liquid state of matter converted into gaseous state of matter at atmospheric pressure at its boiling point. At its boiling point is called boiling. You have to know now this is vaporization and boiling. It is both also not a similar phenomenon. It is different process. Do you know what is vaporization? What is boiling? Vaporization also conversion of liquid into gas by heating, and boiling also conversion of liquid into gas by heating. So on heating, liquid state converted into gaseous state. This is called vaporization as well as boiling. So what is the difference between these two processes means? This vaporization takes place at any temperature even below its boiling point, but this boiling takes place only at its boiling point. That is the difference between this vaporization and boiling. Listen carefully. What is meant by vaporization? So liquid state of matter converted into gaseous state of matter by heating at any temperature even below its boiling point is called vaporization. But liquid converted into gas by heating at its boiling point is called, what is that? Boiling. So both also different process, that is we have a difference between vaporization as well as boiling. Is it clear? So vaporization takes place even below its boiling point, but boiling only takes place at its boiling point. But in these both process, the liquid state of matter converted into gaseous state of matter. Okay. Now, then how will you convert gaseous state of matter into solid state directly? Just now we have discussed about sublimation process. What is sublimation? The gaseous state of matter directly converted to solid, as well as solid state of matter directly converted to gas without attaining liquid state is called sublimation. Same like this, how will you convert liquid into solid? How will you convert liquid into solid? We have to do freezing or solidification process. So, by using freezing or solidification, we can easily convert liquid into solid. Okay. And how will you convert gas into liquid? We have discussed about that is liquefaction process, or one more we can say that is by condensation process. Liquefaction also or condensation. What is condensation? By cooling gaseous particle converted to form liquid. By cooling gaseous particle converted to form liquid, this process is called condensation, or this is called otherwise called liquefaction. So by using these process, we can convert gas into liquid as well as gaseous form of matter into liquid form of matter by cooling, that is by decreasing temperature and increasing pressure. Same like this, how will you convert, that is liquid to solid means solidification, gas to liquid means liquefaction, or else it is called freezing. This process is called condensation. So this is interconversion of triangle conversion of states of matter. So triangle interconversion of states of matter we have discussed now. Solid can convert it into liquid by using melting or fusion process. What is melting? Melting takes place only at its melting point, that is solid, by heating converted to form liquid at atmospheric pressure and its only melting point, at its melting point. But fusion, same like this vaporization, it takes place when conversion of solid into liquid by heating. And liquid to gas, how will you convert liquid to gas? Means by increasing temperature. By heating liquid substance, we can convert this liquid into gaseous state. This is called vaporization or boiling. So just now I have asked to you what's the difference between vaporization and boiling means that evaporation. Vaporization is always called evaporation. We can say this is evaporation. So what's the difference between evaporation and boiling? What's the difference between evaporation and boiling means? Evaporation or vaporization takes place at any temperature that even below its boiling point. But boiling takes place only at its boiling point. Do you know what is the boiling point of water? That is boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius. You know very well what's the boiling point of water? 100 degrees Celsius. Suppose if we will take one beaker water, in that if we will boil that water, only that water will boil when it will reach us at 100 degrees Celsius. Isn't it? After 100 degrees Celsius, sometimes there is no change in temperature. For this also already we have discussed in our previous class. That is considered as a latent heat. What's the name of the heat? Latent heat. What is the meaning for latent? We have discussed it as hidden heat, isn't it? So, in that condition, that one state of matter we need to convert into another state of matter by heating. In that process, when that water will get boiled means only at its 100 degrees Celsius. But when that water will get evaporated means when it will reach, that is 50 degree above room temperature, it will reach 50 degrees Celsius also will get evaporated. 60 degree also it will get evaporated. 80 degree also will get evaporated. 90 degree also it will get evaporated. Like this, on each and every degree Celsius it will get evaporated, that is above its room temperature after heating. So this vaporization, that is evaporation and boiling, both also different phenomenon. In this we can say this evaporation is surface phenomenon. What is evaporation? This is surface phenomenon. Only evaporation takes place on its surface. It is surface phenomenon, but boiling is a bulk phenomenon. But boiling is a bulk phenomenon. So evaporation is a surface phenomenon, but boiling is a bulk phenomenon. So keep it in your mind. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Boiling is a bulk phenomenon. Only takes place at its boiling point. Then you have to know about sublimation, that solid particles directly converted to form gaseous particle without attaining liquid state is called sublimation. Same way, what is mean by how will you convert solid to gas means with the help of sublimation. In the same way, how will you convert gas to solid means in the same process of sublimation, that is interconversion of states of matter, we can represent like this: solid to liquid, liquid to gas. Again, the conversion takes place from liquid to solid and gas to liquid and gas to solid. So this process is called, what does this means? It is called a triangle conversion of states of matter. So by this way, one states of matter we can convert in the form of another states of matter. One states of matter we can convert in the form of another state of matter. So change in states of matter takes place with the help of increasing temperature and decreasing pressure, as well as decreasing temperature and increasing pressure. Wherever we are increasing pressure, in that place the particles will come closer. Okay, so for example, if we will take solid carbon dioxide, we will store this at a high pressure, but when we will reduce the pressure to 1 atmospheric pressure, that solid carbon dioxide is converted to form gaseous state without attaining liquid state. So we are calling that solid carbon dioxide is called dry ice. So we are calling it is called dry ice. Okay. Same way, in that not only the dry ice, that is solid carbon dioxide only, not only it is called sublimating substance, we have many sublimating substance. Before that, you have to know what is sublimation. One state of matter directly, that is solid state of matter, converted to form gaseous state of matter without attaining liquid state. Same like this, gaseous state converted into solid directly without attaining liquid is called sublimation. For some more example, that is iodine, camphor. Do you know camphor? We will call it as a karpuram, sodium solone camphor. And what is that? Ammonium chloride. Formula for ammonium chloride is this NH4Cl. So these are some example for naphthalene. Do you know naphthalene balls? Mainly that naphthalene balls we will use to give good smell of our clothes. To give good smell of our clothes, we will mainly use that white balls, that naphthalene balls, isn't it? So that naphthalene balls also undergo sublimation, that also sublimating substance. So that is we have discussed about some other sublimating substance, that is iodine, camphor, ammonium chloride, and naphthalene. These are some sublimating substance, include that solid carbon dioxide, dry ice. Okay, so this process called sublimation, and this is very important. See, instead of this process in your examination they will give A, B, C, D, E like this. So you have to know about what is A, what is B, and what is C, and what is D, and what is E. So listen here, in your book also you have like this. So listen, see, in your examination they will be like this, that is A, B, C, D, E and F. So they will give like this. So you have to know, you have to write, you have to complete what is A, what is B, what is C, what is D, what is E and what is F. So you know that what's the name of the process A? A is melting or fusion. What is B? This is B is freezing or solidification. What is C? C is evaporation or vaporization or what is that? Boiling. And what is D? That is liquefaction or condensation process. And what is E? That is sublimation. What is F? This is sublimation. So like this you have to take and write what is A, what is B, what is C, what is D, what is E and what is F. So in this way they will ask in your examination, or else they will ask the full conversion. You have to know about this triangle conversion of states of matter. One state of matter into another state of matter. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about what is the evaporation and factors affecting rate of evaporation. Listen. So what is evaporation? Just now we have discussed what is evaporation. So what is evaporation? Just now we have discussed about evaporation, that is solid state converted to liquid state. In that liquid condition, slowly that liquid particles by heating converted to form gaseous particle. That process called evaporation. That is conversion of liquid into gas by heating. Okay, see, conversion of liquid into gas by heating even below its boiling point. Even below its boiling point. So listen, what is evaporation? That is conversion of one state, that is liquid state of matter into gaseous state of matter by heating at atmospheric pressure even below its boiling point is called evaporation. So now we are going to discuss about what are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation. That is, first we are going to discuss about surface area. Next, temperature. Next, humidity. Next, wind speed. Listen, see, these are the factors which will affect the rate of evaporation. See, just now you know very well about evaporation. It is the conversion of liquid into gas by heating. So what are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation? Means that is surface area, temperature, humidity and wind speed. So how the surface area will affect the rate of evaporation means, for example, increasing surface area, generally increasing surface area increase the rate of evaporation. See, increasing surface area increase the rate of evaporation. How it is possible? For example, simple example I will tell you. If you are drinking tea with the help of one cup and saucer, with the help of cup and saucer, if you are taking tea means cup. Inside the cup we have some amount of tea. The same tea if we will feel hot, and same tea if we will add into saucer, that tea also we will feel hot, but which will easily get evaporated means that saucer which we are taking in saucer easily will get evaporated, because in that saucer then that plate, that surface area is large compared to that cup. Isn't it? Same like this. Another example if we will take it, and if you need to dry your wet clothes, what will you do? If you need to dry your wet clothes, we will dry your wet clothes with the help of what's that? Air. How will you dry your wet clothes? We need to give a large surface area to that cloth, isn't it? Suppose if we are not giving large surface area to that cloth means it will not easily get evaporated. The water vapor will not get easily evaporated. So by drying that, we need to dry that wet cloth means we need to give large surface area. So we need to give large surface area to that wet cloth, then only it will get easily, that is, evaporated. So whenever increasing surface area, the rate of evaporation also increases. So same like this, by increasing temperature, if we are increasing temperature, what happens? Rate of evaporation also increase. How it is possible? Suppose same like this, if you need to dry your hair or if you need to dry your wet clothes, what will you do? If you will give more temperature, if you are standing under the sun or if you are standing in front of the sun, if you are standing in front of the sunlight, what happens? With the help of that heat, easily that wet clothes will get dry, because it will hot sun will evaporate the water as early as possible. That hot rays of sun easily evaporate the water vapor present in that wet cloth, isn't it? So increasing temperature, that increase the rate of evaporation. So whenever, in which place you have to do that fast evaporation, if you will increase the temperature, automatically the rate of evaporation also increases. Same like this, humidity. What is humidity? That is amount of water vapor present. What is it? Amount of water vapor present is called humidity. Okay, so amount of water vapor present, amount of water vapor it is present, is amount is more means the humidity also more. Same like this, the amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is less means humidity also less. So what is humidity? The amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere is called humidity. So by decreasing humidity, rate of evaporation increases. By decreasing humidity, rate of evaporation will get increases. By increasing humidity, rate of evaporation will get decreases. You know very well, that is humidity, that amount of water level in our atmosphere is more means that dresses also will not, you know very well, during winter season, due to that cold weather, our dresses will take time to get dry, isn't it? So same like this, decreasing humidity, the rate of evaporation will increases. Humidity will increase means rate of evaporation will get decreases. Same like this, wind speed. Here increasing wind speed, increase the rate of evaporation, isn't it? See, same example we can say that, do you want to, suppose we want to dry this wet cloth, what will you do? Use that, what is that, wind with the help of fan or with the help of wind, easily our wet cloths will get dry. We know that compared to other season, windy season, the wet clothes easily will get dries with the help of wind speed, isn't it? So the wind speed is more. The wind speed is more means the rate of evaporation also is more. The wind speed is less means the rate of evaporation also will less. So increasing wind speed, increase the rate of evaporation. Decreasing wind speed, decrease the rate of evaporation. So these are the factors which will affect the rate of evaporation. So what are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation means it is surface area. How the surface area will affect the rate of evaporation? Increasing surface area, increase the rate of evaporation. Decreasing surface area, decrease the rate of evaporation. For best example, we know very well, when we are taking tea in a cup and saucer, that saucer will get wide area compared to that teacup. The teacup will get a smaller surface area so will get very less evaporation. The tea vapors will get slowly will comes out and will get late evaporation. But suppose if we are transferring the teacup from that teacup to saucer, that plate which has wide surface area, that is large surface area. Because of large surface area, the vapors also will evaporate easily. So, increasing surface area increase the rate of evaporation. Same like this, by increasing temperature, rate of evaporation also will get increases. So, if you want to dry or wet cloth, same like this. If it is whether hot sunny days, our dry wet cloths will get easily dried with the help of that hot rays from sun. So by increasing temperature, increase the rate of evaporation. As well as humidity. What is humidity? The water vapor present in the atmosphere, it is considered as a humidity. The humidity is more in our atmosphere. Evaporation takes place very slow. But decrease in humidity. Humidity is less means evaporation will take place at faster rate. Okay, same like this wind speed, increasing wind speed, increase the rate of evaporation, as well as decreasing wind speed, decrease the rate of evaporation. So, like this you have to know about the what are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation. You know very well, surface area. So when we need to wet or dry cloths also, we need to spread the cloths, because why we are going to spread the cloths while drying means because that when we are spreading the cloths, it gives a large surface area. Because of that large surface area, that easily that wet cloths will get dried. Okay, so increasing surface area, increasing temperature, decreasing humidity, and increasing wind speed increases the rate of evaporation. So these are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation. So listen children, today we have discussed about interconversion of triangle conversion of states of matter, that is conversion of solid into liquid, liquid into gas, as well as gas into liquid and liquid into solid, same like solid into liquid. Like this interconversion, that is triangle conversion of states of matter we have discussed today. How we will convert one state of matter into another state of matter means by increasing temperature and decreasing pressure, as well as by decreasing temperature and increasing pressure, we can convert one state of matter into another state of matter. Same like this, we have discussed today about the difference between evaporation and boiling. Evaporation is a surface phenomenon. Only it will take on its surface. It is a surface phenomenon that from its surface the particles will get evaporated. But boiling, it is a bulk phenomenon. Whole particles will get boiled. If we are heating the water, just it is evaporated means it is surface phenomenon. Only on its surface, slightly vapors will comes out. It will tell us this is a surface phenomenon. But that water will need to get boiled. That whole water will get boiled with the help of that boiling point. Okay. So evaporation takes place even below its boiling point, but only boiling takes place at its boiling point. So with the help of evaporation, what are the factors will affect the rate of evaporation means, that is surface area, temperature, humidity and wind speed. These factors will affect the rate of evaporation. So by increasing surface area, increase the rate of evaporation, and increasing temperature, increase the rate of evaporation, and decreasing humidity, increase the rate of evaporation, as well as increasing wind speed, increase the rate of evaporation. From this, except humidity, remaining three factors, it will increase means rate of evaporation also increase, but only humidity when it will decrease, then only rate of evaporation also will get increase. So see here, these factors will affect the rate of evaporation. Okay children, so today we have discussed in this lesson about, that is what we have discussed, interconversion of states of matter and evaporation and factors affecting rate of evaporation. So these things we have discussed today, and listen carefully and revise properly and do the worksheet. If you have any doubt, we will clarify in your next class. So this first lesson today we have discussed about change in states of matter, as well as in that we have discussed detailing about evaporation, as well as what is that, factors affecting rate of evaporation. These questions mainly they will ask in your examination based on 3 marks or 5 marks. So what is evaporation, what's the difference between evaporation and boiling, and what factors will affect the rate of evaporation, explain. So these factors will affect the rate of evaporation. So prepare well and complete your worksheet children. Thank you.